Okay, let's see where we were at. It hasn't been that long since an update. It is midwinter, and surprisingly enough, we still haven't been sieged yet. I'm just shocked because every other time I've played Genesis, normally by this time we've been sieged by werewolves. But you can see that they're pretty much all starting to starve to death. It won't be much longer. Probably. They're all thirsty, hungry. Well, maybe it will be a while. Fact is, they might all live. You can see that they have chopped down almost all of the trees. There's tons of wood out there. Still have this side of the plateau left, though, and I'm going to have them chop down as many as they can before they do die. But I've also got them set to gather plants from up there, which they've been doing, and they've even got a few seeds for themselves. But they still can't farm anything because they won't have any mud. But I'm thinking that as they gather plants, they're also gathering a bit of food for themselves to eat. So they're going to be able to sustain that way, I believe. For the time being, I'm not sure if they can actually keep up with their hunger needs just by gathering plants. There they go. They're living off the land. True mountain men right there. True dwarves, even though they don't actually work with stone or have their own fortress or anything like that, but they're surviving, and good for them. As for the fortress dwarves, they're living fairly comfortably. Our food stores, I believe, are slowly rising. I have all of them set to farm and harvest, which will slow things down a little bit, but for the time being, I want to try to get the farms going and stockpile a little bit of food down here. I'm also smoothing down a few areas, as you can see, getting the dining hall set up here. In fact, let's do that right now. This is the primary dining room. We'll just take it all the way out to the very edge there. It'll also be the meeting hall, yes. Anybody who needs to chat or hang out with each other, that's where they're gonna go. What else do we need? I'm missing a few important buildings at this point. I don't have a brewer's shop set up, a brewery, because I really want to actually create a pub for that. Because the brewer is going to unload all of his drinks pretty much into the same room that he's working in. So I'm thinking about setting up tables and chairs and digging out a nice little pub for that. So we'll have the dining hall, and then wherever I decide to set this pub up at. Maybe somewhere down here, overlooking the water. Maybe I should make the pub like on one of the very bottom floors. Well, actually no, because if I have it overlooking the water, and say a monster falls off the edge, or they see the carp and freak out, they won't actually enjoy themselves in the pub. Which kind of makes me wonder if they're going to be able to work in here, because with these fortifications, they might be able to see the carp and crocodiles down there. And dwarves are skittish when they're not in the military. You probably know that. They'll run from anything. A raccoon, a cow that comes up, they don't care. They just freak out. And will refuse to work. Hungry, unhappy, very unhappy. You're not starving, Kabuk. Deal with it. Unhappy. You guys aren't even thirsty, so... Yeah, they're doing fine out there, then. I'm actually quite surprised at that. Bladeweed, longland grass, nightshade. I should probably... Let's give them a bigger food stockpile here. And I guess, if they're gonna survive, I should probably also give them a few buildings. They've got tons of wood to work with, so I can have them build maybe like a little motel or something, perhaps. They're only gonna be working with wood, no stone, no metals. They're not going to be digging, so maybe some type of tribal style buildings. And I still think they're all going to be slaughtered shortly. Whenever the first enemies show up, the first ambush will probably just cut through all of them. Thinking maybe just a big central wooden castle treehouse thing. We can build it out of wood, and they can all live in it and work in it. Maybe build a couple wooden pathways around there. Give them a wooden path all the way down the hillside here. Down to the river. Well, I guess it can't. Do I have any flat access to the river? No, I don't. That is as low as it gets and gives us access to the river, right there on the very edges. Otherwise, we have to drop down several sea levels. So I may have to make them make some type of walkway down the face of the cliff there, down to the water. Give them a little dock. And who knows what I can have them do. Well, it is late winter, 3rd Obsidian. It'll be the New Year's soon, and all of the migrants outside, surprisingly enough, are still alive. The dwarfs down here, starting to stockpile some plants. That's pretty nice. Our food stores are going down, though. How about we build another farm, actually? Build one right here, just right in the middle. And we're gonna plant more plump helmets there. Eventually, I may actually also make stockpile rooms here. Still not sure, because everything they harvest, they have to carry up a flight of stairs and out here and stuff it into a barrel. Seeing as how I didn't turn this into a food stockpile room, which is probably better because walking outside is closer. But outside may not always be accessible.
Holy cow! There is a tantrum happening!
Deal with it, Captain. And speaking of outside, let's go ahead and set up the 2nd story walls here. Make it all microcline. That way it all blends together on the video here, and it's hard for you guys to actually pick out the shape. It's kind of one of my worries while I'm building this. Thinking maybe on some of the future projects, I'll build the floors one color, and then the walls kind of another off-shade color. That might help it stand out a little bit more. Because one of the big things I want while I'm recording this series, of course, is for you guys to actually know what you're looking at. It doesn't do me any good if you can't tell what I'm describing whenever I talk about it. Actually, hang on. These 3 right here. Maybe place a wall here. Okay, so these 2 are going to be doors. And this will be a walkway that wraps out and around and comes in on the bottom here. So that'll be 2 doors down here as well. And probably in this back corner, actually I think I already talked about that. Maybe in each corner I'll have little itty bitty guard towers with fortifications that our archers can hide behind. Even though I don't think we're going to have anybody fighting for the time being, because I don't want them to get shot and killed. Unless they're outside like all these bums. Rest in peace, dwarfs out there. It's only a matter of what are they doing? I saw them all run over here to the wall, and I thought somehow they were getting ready to storm it and stack on top of each other and climb up here. It looked like maybe actually they were just chasing after a butterfly or something, trying to eat it. I'm not sure. It scared me though. I thought there was a breach in the wall. Somehow, we've made it through winter alive. Well, most of the dwarfs did. One of them died, starved to death. Locum, the blacksmith, who I believe was actually a grandmaster blacksmith out there, starved to death. Yes, that's right, I am allowing grandmaster people with useful skills the chance to starve to death out there. There's a bunch of them starving now, hungry, thirsty. They kind of quit gathering food and chopping down trees, which is, I believe, what has led to this problem. If they would have just kept picking plants and gathering food, they wouldn't be starving, but they are. I could always try to draft them all into a squad and then have them kill the slugmen there. And then have them butcher those bodies for food. But I don't think so. They've done good out there. They cleared 70% of the trees up there, which is pretty dang nice of them. I mean, if any more migrants show up, at least all the trees will be cut down for them, and they can start building. Yeah, poor guys. Looks like that blacksmith starved to death right there on the food stockpile. He was just looking for crumbs or something. There's plenty of grass out there. I mean, if they wanted, they could dive into the river and try to catch a carp or something. It's not my fault that they're helpless out there. We've got our own problems to worry about. I think we might have some problems. Maybe not. Our plant stockpile is up to 44. Our drinks are running a bit low, though. But I'm not yet ready to set up a pub. I've got some of the dwarves still smoothing down areas. I'm hoping to have this whole floor smoothed down soon. And by the time they get done smoothing all this down...
Holy carp! There is a tantrum happening! There's a dwarf throwing a tantrum!
Yeah. I gave all of the dwarves out their custom names. Kind of... Well, primarily because if we ever... Well, I know that we will be creating artifacts at some point, and I at least want this name, some name that I can actually pronounce to show up in the artifact, a name that might actually make the artifact somewhat interesting, instead of some random dwarf that has a name. At least you can imagine Luigi crying for tears while he starves to death in the field of joyous happiness or something like that. Whatever this region we've embarked in is called. And that's one thing we haven't had yet. I'm kind of surprised at. Not a single mood in any of the starting 7. It's bound to happen at some point. All I have to do is keep digging, and the moods will happen. I'm gonna need more microclimes soon as well, so I may as well start planning out this next floor. I'm not gonna have you guys here though whenever I plan it out. I'll come back whenever the design is finished, because I still don't even know what I want to build here. I'm gonna have to think about it for a while, while Kefka is out there chasing down cockroaches and mice, trying to survive. It's 10th granite, 676, early spring. It looks like we're gonna get a little bit of action out of these dwarfs after all. Let's see. Raiden here has gone berserk while he was hunting for small creatures. He is on top of Ryu right now, probably just getting ready to jump on his throat, and let's see. They all cancel hunting. He hasn't attacked yet, but they all run away. And it looks like he is starving and chasing after a guinea hen here. He's picking it up and slamming it on the ground. I think he broke its leg. The peasant collides with the guinea hen. I guess Raiden's the peasant. They're knocked over and tumble backwards. And hey, at least he's gonna get himself a little bit of food. Yeah, he chokes that guinea hen and rips its head off, and then he takes off chasing after Ryu, who passes out unconscious. Raiden jumps on top of Ryu and bashes him in the head, bruising the muscle, so I'm not sure Ryu's gonna actually put up much of a fight. Ryu will probably die, and then Raiden is gonna continue on his little journey here.
Oh, stop him, he'll
Oh
hurt
god. And the clown has went berserk. The clown's right there. So Raiden's running around killing people. The clown just snapped. And he takes off and jumps on... Who did he jump on top of and start choking? He's grabbing Kefka by the head and bashing it against some rocks on the ground there. Well, actually, yeah, it looks like they're tumbling, rolling around, choking each other. They don't have any weapons, of course. Just their socks. Looks like, what are they using? A llama wool robe. No, the leather worker punches the glazer. So they're just punching each other. Punching, biting, kicking, spitting. The only bad news is that they're going to interrupt my wall building up here, because these dwarfs don't want to see this type of crap going on. Yeah. Aristmic Kyle, he's like, nope, not going to build that wall at all. Somebody died. Ryu is suffocated. He was thrown off a cliff by Raiden. And finally Raiden succumbs to his wounds too. Ryu kicked his ass. The clown just suffocated Kefka. The clown, sack gifts. You don't want his gifts that he's bringing. Oh yes, go fight on the edge there. Please catch up to him, clown. I don't think he's going to be quick enough. So I want them to fight there, so maybe one of them will get thrown down to the crocodiles. Who's he chasing? He's chasing Toad. Back to the cliff edge. There's some blink ravens, or whatever they were called. There'll be more people probably snapping and going berserk before too much longer. We did have one dwarf go melancholy, but it's not really important. He'll probably just strip naked and then throw himself into a pond. And Toad goes stark raving mad while being chased by the clown. That would drive me insane too. Yeah. Maybe you'll both run towards the mountain edge here? Keep going south. You are so close to paradise. And they're being chased by a stray Pekyat, who might actually be Toad's pet, or maybe the clown's pet, I'm not sure. People are fighting, yeah. Just the clown. He catches up to Toad and whips him in the back of the head, bruising the muscle, slowing him down just a little bit. Toad rolls to the side. This is the most action we've seen in the fortress since we got here, actually. Besides hauling stones and infrastructure building. The clown punches Toad in the upper body, bruising the muscle. Finally pins him to the ground. Toad rolls to the side and manages to escape. And the clown snaps for a brief moment. Don't jump into the pit there. Okay, and he rips the Pekyat apart, feasting on its heart. He catches Toad napping and slams him into some downed lumber. So who's gonna win this one? The clown is starving, and Toad is winded and is being completely pulverized. Looks like the clown's gonna win this one. Run for your life, Toad. Jump into the pond there, to the dry little... Oh, it's too late. The clown slams his head against some cut timber there, and begins feasting on his body. There's many more targets out there for you, though, clown. Spleen is bruised, left kidney is bruised, and the guts are bruised. Unfortunately, I can't see their kill streak. I think it's up to 3 now. 2 dwarfs and the Pekyat there. So the clown's just waiting for his next target to lumber through the area. There are a couple dwarfs walking around there. He went over there to get a little bit of food, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Drink a little bit of the blood for sustenance. Oh, what a year. 676 started off good. It's mid-spring. Down to 12 dwarves. That won't be too much longer before all of them out there are dead. How are our dwarfs in here doing? Farming's going rather well, 67 plants. Food stockpiles up to 235. I think the lowest it got was 214. Looks like most of the smoothing is done here. I still have the bedrooms in this offshoot here. And actually the dining hall, so yeah, never mind. We've got a lot of smoothing to do on this floor still. I did get this floor designated. I figured that this will be the jail. This will be the sheriff's bedroom. One or two of these may be for animal training and prisoner storage, and another one or two is going to be for training some squads. Or each one of these could be for their own separate squad. Still not sure exactly how I'll set it up yet, which means I don't have the pub designed at all, and we're down to 30 drink. We might be able to make it to the end of summer without running out of alcohol. I don't know, I'm really pressing the limits there. It's not like we're gonna die of dehydration without it. The dwarves, you know, they need it though. They want it. They're not really a dwarf unless they're pickling their liver. Have you given up, clown? He's starving, thirsty, just laying there, silently honking to himself. I guess I'm gonna let him honk in silence. It's 10th slate, mid-spring. And, yeah, you saw what happened. We don't even need to describe it, it's so horrible. Well, a couple more casualties to chalk up to insanity here. RoboCop and Mario have both been stricken by melancholy, and I believe that Luigi here is about ready to be killed by the clown. The clown has turned into one hell of a monster. Just a little bit injured, left eye, left breast injury, probably just a scratch or a bruise. Luigi is all beat up, starving, dehydrated. Hands broken, being slammed onto the ground and humiliated by the clown. The clown's probably going to be the last one standing out there, if it doesn't die from starvation and dehydration. Which I assume he will soon.
There's the dwarf throwing a tantrum.
Van Winkle's throwing a tantrum. I don't think anyone has jumped off the edge yet, but Van Winkle is right there. And has been standing there for quite some time. Who's that? There's Sub-Zero. He's starving. Come on, just push each other off. The piranhas are starving down there. Won't someone think of the piranhas? Are they still fighting up there? Luigi's taking one heck of a beating. The clown is now overexerted. Luigi might actually win this one. I take it back. Clown wasn't strong enough after all, maybe. Taken down by Luigi. Well, Mario is off crying somewhere, basically. I'm getting tired here. They don't have any weapons either. Luigi doesn't. He may have at the beginning, which allowed him to get the upper hand, but he has since dropped it. Now they're kicking, punching, and biting each other. We may not have a winner here. The clown's tired, Luigi. Let's see, what's your skill at? Legendary woodcrafter, armor user, competent fighter, dabbling biter, kicker. Well, if he doesn't starve to death, they may come out on top as champions here. Because they're not really killing each other. So, it's second fell site, late spring. Summer will be here soon. Down to 23 drink, that's awful. I still don't have the pub planned out. So, I think that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do that off camera. And I'm not going to actually designate the rest of this floor until all of the dwarfs out there are dead. Even though as soon as the siege group shows up, I'm not going to be able to designate anything out here because the dwarfs will either A, get shot, or B, freak out and not finish placing the stone. So, I will be back eventually. Well, this is most unfortunate. I was not expecting this to happen because I honestly did not know that this could happen. I had no idea that ghosts were such a threat. I thought they just floated around and scared people. Well, this ghost, Van Winkle, has battered Cicero, and it looks like he's chopped off his hand. Needless to say, I am not prepared for this. I do not have a hospital set up. I don't even have a head doctor picked out, I don't think. Wait, yeah, I do. Ernst McValencia. However, the problem is he's lost a limb. And if I remember anything from Genesis, it's that blood loss is a much larger threat than in the default dwarf fortress. I'm fairly certain that Cicero is actually going to die here. His right hand is spraying dwarf blood all over the place. I was trying to get the slabs made so that I could produce the memorial slabs and put these ghosts to rest. But like I said, I didn't know that it was this big of a threat. He's a moss dwarf. Their flesh heals at lightning speed. Well, you better hope that your flesh heals up here, because otherwise you're going to bleed to death very quickly. I'm just going to unpause it. You can see his hand right here. He was making barrels. He was working so hard. And that damn ghost of Van Winkle, a violent ghost. This spirit has not been properly memorialized. Struck. Oh, Cicero, don't die on us. He's pale, he's very unhappy, and he's in shock right now. He's just looking at his hand right there. Oh, the biggest problem I've got is that my mason's workshop is extremely cluttered. I don't do stockpiles that often, especially not for furniture or things like that, because I think that they're just unsightly and I hate having 300 items scattered across a huge sprawling stockpile. But I may have to just in order to speed that mason shop up. The crafts dwarf shop here. Let's go ahead and engrave some stuff. Van Winkle, you'll go to the top of the list. And I'm just going to move down and see who we can engrave for. I might actually have engraved a few already. Let's see. The first slabs will go down here, I guess. I really didn't want to place them yet because I wanted to smooth everything down before we start placing slabs. Because I don't think the dead are very happy about their slabs being ripped up later on. Also, I've got the bar set up, the little dive bar. 2 brewer's stalls are here. I'm going to place chairs and tables all scattered around. Maybe a theater in the center of the room here or something like that. I'm still not sure. Depends how long we survive if we get that far. Oh yeah, I also need to place some nest boxes. So, while Cicero is sitting there spraying blood, how about I place a few nesting boxes just out here along this wall. They'll be right by the pond. In fact, just line them along this whole wall. How many do I have? 3 left? That should be plenty. I'm not sure if I have to enable anything on them once they are placed. I've never used nesting boxes before. Now, where's the slab at? Here we go. I want to make sure, actually, is there a separate one for engraved slabs? Burial receptacle out? Yeah, see, I don't even have any coffins built yet. About the first ones, they can go back around in here. Apparently I don't have any engraved ones yet, dang it. Haven't got around to engraving any of them. Well, I'll place the slabs down there whenever we do get some made. Cicero, are you going to make it? You're pale, you're thirsty, you're very unhappy. You know, I could designate actually one of these rooms to be the hospital. Actually, let me pause it here because I'm going to sneeze, I think. There we go, I feel better. But I think we'll make one of these rooms hospital. Maybe even both rooms. That way, at some point later on, if the fortress does grow enough, if I end up letting migrants in, I can always shut down one of the hospitals and starve out the wounded in there that aren't being taken care of. I know I had that problem in previous fortresses. So, I don't need tables or chairs. Actually, I do need tables. Place 2 beds, that's all we're going to have for now. And 2 tables, so that works out perfectly. And we'll mirror them. Line this wall with cabinets, which I believe that they can still use for all of their supplies. I can't remember if they need cabinets or dressers or boxes or whatever in order to store their thread and cloth in. And just go ahead and set this, make this the hospital zone. There we go. It's going to take them quite a while to get it set up though, because they're still busy smoothing down everything. We've almost got this level completely planned out, or smoothed out. And I think while I was thinking, and just off screen, I realized what we're gonna do with this one tile wide wall here. This is where the bridge is going to be built, the aqueduct. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna channel out all of the flooring here, probably for these 2 squares, maybe even 3 squares, all the way down through every floor almost, I think. I'm still not sure how that's going to work out. But we're going to build an aqueduct all the way over here that will catch the water from this waterfall. It will run it all the way over the bridge that we're going to make there, the aqueduct, back here, and move the waterfall inside our fortress so that our dwarves can, enjoy a little bit of mist and a fancy waterfall inside the fortress, hopefully without flooding it. I may actually have to expand some of these entrances a bit. Like this one, I might have to reshape it so that it matches the bottom part here at least, all the way down. Because eventually I'll want the waterfall to funnel back out into the river. That way my fortress doesn't get really flooded. It's just a waterfall for looks. And if need be, we can route it around to other areas of the fortress. Perhaps set up additional wells around the base. Oh, Cicero. I'm glad you survived, at least. You're pale, you're thirsty. Right hand is gone, no longer squirting blood. You healed quite quickly, thankfully, and you didn't even need any stitches. I don't know if they'll take care of him once we do get the hospital set up. Where's he going? He's attending a meeting. I think it's because he's pissed off. I'd want to attend a meeting too. These motherfucking ghosts chopped off my hand. I can't believe it. I need to talk to the psychiatrist. I'm angry. Don't even have insurance in this place. What am I supposed to do about my hand now? Who's he bitching to? He's going to attend a meeting. The psychiatrist is McValencia. So, good luck there. How empathetic is Valencia? I'm kind of curious if he'll make a good psychiatrist or not. Let's see. Slept in a great bedroom, been content. Slept uneasily due to noise, yeah, because there's all the construction and smoothing going around. 51 years old. Skinny, long hair. Slow to tire, quick to heal. Flimsy and susceptible to disease. Could have sworn that there was a listing for empathy in here. Likes alpacas for their jutting teeth. Detests spinners. No spinner rims for McValencia there. Can handle stress. Tends to avoid crowds. Very energetic. Incredibly creative. Not interested in art though. Good awareness of own emotions. Slow to trust. Candid and sincere in dealings with others. Compassionate. Great willpower. Gets very rigid when angry. Needs alcohol. And is starting to slowly work due to its scarcity, or working very slowly. So yeah, she will make a good psychiatrist. Hopefully stop Cicero from snapping and killing anyone. Now McValencia is going to construct a building. I'm almost done forcing the dwarfs to work 24/7. There's that damn ghost. I'm gonna give him a few seasons off soon, I believe. Van Winkle's ghost. Just sitting at the craft shop, demanding to be given a proper burial. So far, no one's had the time to go craft any memorial slabs. How many more dwarfs are gonna have to lose their hands? Ooh, and somebody's brewing drinks. It's McFallen's. He's the proficient brewer. Still don't have any drink on stockpile yet. But we will. And there's the nesting boxes. It's currently unclaimed. I don't have to set any actions, thankfully. I guess the ducks will go claim it whenever they get the chance. Is there anything else going on in this crazy fortress? It's generally pretty peaceful. It's already mid-autumn. Valencia's like, just hang on, Cicero. I know that you've lost your hand, but we've got a fortress to set up here. Just tag along. She's gonna go get some beer, it looks like. Or he. I'm not sure. Yep, drinking. 4 drinks on tap. Awesome. Everybody go party in the bar. I still need to get the tables and chairs and everything set up. But I have to craft more, because I don't have any crafted at this point. They've all been placed. Probably another season for the hospital to get set up. So he mines out a couple spots, goes and places a door, goes back to mining. And I'm going to let the dwarves get back to off-screening. Hopefully Cicero is fine, won't throw a tantrum and kill anyone. I'm not sure exactly how much damage he could do anyways with just one hand. But you never know. Okay, well, a quick update. Van Winkle, the ghostly potash maker, has finally been put to rest. We got his slab engraved and memorialized, and I placed it right here. And hopefully that's the last that we'll be seeing of him, unless he wants to come back and actually hang out and be a gentleman. Because chopping off people's hands is not acceptable. Of course, that is just... I don't know why they won't grab that hand and take it outside. But that's just one dwarf out of something like 12 or 11 dead dwarfs out there that we still have to memorialize, so there could be more ghosts popping up at any time to hack and chop our dwarfs into little bits. And for the time being, they're going to be our primary threat. We struck Jade, huh? We're almost done mining too. And it looks like the hospital is just about halfway set up. Still need the beds and tables. And I need to get some traction benches crafted as well. I may end up actually using rock chains for now. I'm not real sure yet. Well, let's see. It is late spring, 677, and our first little friend has shown up. A thief. I'm pretty sure he's getting ready to run away, but he was sprung by our liaison there. And he springs another thief. He doesn't fight him at all, though. And I think they'll probably both run away. So there's a lot of kobold thieves out there. Our liaison is trapped. I'm real tempted to let him in. But... oh, an ambush. I'm kind of glad I didn't then. Yeah, he's about ready to die. I think. Where is he at? Saw him standing over here somewhere. Where's Waldo? Where's Urist? Let's try to find him. Is he still alive? Yeah. Rith Ordmaz. There he is. I have no idea what sprung that ambush. Oh. The stray llama has sprung the ambush. I see. Well, rest in peace, llama. I was kind of wondering where it was, and here the kobolds come, because I had set it to butcher earlier. Ooh, a Sylvan caravan shows up just in time to maybe save our diplomat. Run, Orthmer! And no. The spearman strikes the liaison in the lower body, bruising the fat, and he is quickly riddled with arrows. They'll probably tear apart that Sylvan caravan now, or try. The elves aren't really ones to screw with, though. Where are they at? There they are. They're down there at the bottom of the hill. Oh, did they not bring any caravan guards? No, they didn't. It is just one merchant, it looks like. Or is it not? 2 merchants. Well, you merchants really should have brought some guards. And they quickly get filled with arrows there. One hits him in the leg, pins him to the ground. He tries to crawl away. Well, it's always possible that they'll run out of arrows down there. Of course, then they'll just club his head in. We made it to the top. Goodness. Right hand is broken. Right hand is cut open. He's riddled with arrows. It's a girl. She's got arrows in her chest. Lower body has 2 arrows stuck in it. Oh, good lord. Where's the thief at? I think the kobold invaders sprung a thief. There goes the other elf merchant. It looks like he's left his ox behind. Sorry about that, fellas. It's not exactly safe here yet. Cicero. Aw. I'm expanding the floor up here. No one gets shot, please. A Dusk Elf caravan arrives. Oh boy, there's just going to be a lot of death and destruction. For anyone who shows up. There's not a lot that I can do about it, though. The Dusk Elf swordsman is fighting. Wait a second, I want to see. Where are they at? Okay, they're up there in the top corner. And it looks like they did bring some bodyguards. There's one right now. Yafaquel Min snarled. A Dusk Elf swordsman, perhaps? Dusk Elf. Yeah, I'm fairly certain. Yeah, Dusk Elf swordsman, there we go. Dusk Elf swordsman, swordsmenses, swordselfses should make quick work of kobolds. In fact, he deflected 1 arrow, shot it back at the kobold. So we know the Dusk Elves came prepared. They're not foolish enough and crazy enough to travel without guards. I really would like to get a trade depot open, but at the same time, I know that as soon as both of the merchants are running around out there, you elves should go hang out with the Dusk Elves and see if you can get some protection. But I know that as soon as I open a wall or something, an ambush is going to spring inside and kill all my dwarves. After a few seasons of training, whenever I've got their skills set up, I may try to open a wall. I will be playing it safe until then, though. Let's see, what do we have going on around the fortress? I think it's been a little bit since my last update. Everything in here is done being smoothed down. I just need more tables and chairs to flesh out the dining hall there. All of the ghosts have been memorialized, all of the dead dwarfs have been, and we no longer have to worry about them springing up and chopping off anyone's hands, thankfully. In fact, pretty sure that's all of the ones that died, and they completely filled up that room. It's kind of neat how that turned out. So this will be the hall of the first wave, first batch that died.
Grab your dwarves, grab your beer, there's a party coming near.
Yay. I have organized a party. Let's see. Where am I at? Right here. We'll see who shows up. Cicero shows up. I guess he's glad to have a party. Yeah, you're still missing your hand. You will always be missing your hand. I'm not sure why I'm acting surprised there. Hands don't grow back, and you can't attach hooks or, a pickaxe to somebody's hand. That would be neat if the doctors could do something like that. You've lost a hand, so we can attach one thing to you. What will it be? Of course, that would defeat the purpose.
defeat the danger of actually losing a hand, I guess. You could just swap it out with tools anyways. The hospital is set up, except for those 2 chests there. I do need traction benches still, but I believe, yep, I have a few made. A couple microcline ones. I guess we'll try to keep the hospital furniture here blue instead of brown. Blue and white, give it a very clean feel for all of the patients in there. Cicero never went in there. He took care of the wound himself. The bar still needs set up. Also, I was thinking more about the waterfall. And like I said, what I'm going to do here, I think I'm going to have the waterfall actually enter here on this Z level. And I'll mine out this wall and mine out the floors here so that the waterfall just drops. I might put a row of windows here, but having a little bit of mist to jump up and spray over is not going to hurt anyone too bad. Down here, I definitely will, though, have a wall of glass, windows basically for the dwarfs, and all of this will be mined out. This one, probably exactly the same, another row of glass, and this mined out so that the water can just fall straight down. Or actually, this one will have a floor here in the middle, but on the edges there will be the drains, so the waterfall will fall down the middle, splash onto the centerpiece, and then roll off to either side. And on either side there, I'm going to have a tunnel where my mouse is. The water will come into here after it falls from the top Z level, right here, into this tunnel, and maybe have another downward stairwell here, all the way down to 1 or 2 Z levels above the river where it will waterfall out. And I'll just mirror this design on this design so that the waterfall comes into our fortress as one waterfall, and after falling through several Z levels in the fortress, drains out into the river. Of course, I also want the option to plug those exits so that the tubes can fill with water, and I'll have other branching tunnels that will be filled with water over time. Places that lead to other well systems, maybe a couple ponds for nobles or things like that to swim in, and as the water drains from them over time for one reason or another, we'll be able to open the floodgates, close the waterfalls draining into the river, and then flood back through there and refill those reservoirs, if that makes any sense. If you can't visualize what I was describing, you'll see it eventually, I'm sure. Hopefully I'll be able to get it built. I don't really see any problems coming to assault us. My biggest worry is simply something showing up that can fly. Harpies, gargoyles, a dragon, something like that would destroy the fortress. There's no questions about it. So I'm still trying to get some of these Z levels built up, and I will eventually seal it off completely. As for what I'm going to do about the grassland out here, I really don't know. Because something's always going to be able to fly and land in our little courtyard here, and then come through these doors. I don't know. I'll figure out how I'm going to secure it in the future. I might use traps. Not cage traps, though. In fact, maybe that's what I would do. Make this room some type of spinning bladed death trap for anything that tries to come through the doors here. Of course, that's bad too for dwarves, because if a dwarf happens to fall down on a trap, the trap will still spring on them. So, we'll see. It is 7th Hematite, early summer. The starting 7 are more or less just hanging out. Hopefully falling in love, getting married. I haven't seen any weddings happen. No kids yet either, but I'm sure that will hopefully be happening soon enough, and we can kind of expand the population of the fortress a little bit. Kids, I'm not sure if I can make them craft doors and things like that until a certain age, but we'll see. I forgot exactly how much I can force them to do with Dwarf Therapist, but if they can do all the labors, then child labor will certainly be active in my fortress.
Well, we've finally been assaulted inside our fortress. Ernest McValencia, you've been jumped by some spirit ravens. Looks like they've actually messed up your hand and tore a sensory nerve. Seeing as how I didn't have you in the military, you didn't try to put up too much of a fight. I'm going to activate the squad, though, and just have them station themselves right here. You can see they actually made it all the way down inside our fortress, right here. So, one of them just got struck down. Let's see, who killed it? Did one of them get struck down? No. I think maybe they're just scared. Maybe that's why they attacked you? I'm not sure. Kill all of them, though. Just that way, so they don't try to fly in here and cause any more damage. Well, that one took off really quick. Let's see. The Ernest McNess breaks the grip. Who died? A stray rabbit has been struck down. Okay. Someone's neck broke is what it said, I thought. The spirit raven pecks Ernest McNess in the head, tearing through the fat. It latches on firmly. These ravens are causing a little bit of chaos, more trouble than I thought that they were going to. Come on, pin it down, get the animals after it. Man, that thing is quick. Maybe it'll take off and fly away and we won't have to worry about it. I built the tower up here in the center of the wall there, if you didn't see that. Okay, where they're at. They got it pinned in the corner back here. Cicero, you're getting all beat up. The spirit raven, I can't believe it's putting up that much of a fight. They finally corner it. Oh god, don't tell me we're gonna die to spirit ravens. I'll be quite upset. Ernest McKyle, you were voted as the expedition leader, so congratulations there. So, one spirit raven down at least. Are there any more flying around? Yes. That one is outside. And this one looks like they're both outside. Okay, everyone stand down for now. I'm hoping they won't come back in. That should just be a fluke. Ravens are not a predatory creature, even if they are spirit ravens. They just got trapped inside, cornered the dwarves, and decided to eat them. So I'm just going to deactivate everyone here. Let's see what our medical crew does. Cicero, you're messed up again. You did kill one spirit raven, though. Your ability to grasp is somewhat impaired. Your right foot also has a slight injury. Revocane, are you messed up? No health problems? Okay. I just see him standing there idly, and it worries me. The last thing I need is one of these dwarfs to end up paralyzed and bedridden. Everyone else is still just standing around. Ernest McNess, you've got a light head wound. Your head's cut open. You're 68 years old. Ernest McValencia, you also got beat up a little bit. Your first toe on your left foot is broken and your right hand is dented. Sensory nerve damage. Hopefully not on your feet. Oh man. If you can't walk anymore, seeing as how I don't think crutches work, be quite sad. Store, harvest plants. So yeah, we could actually be in a lot of trouble here, depending on how many dwarfs got injured. Apparently my fortress is not sealed up as well as I was hoping. I think I need to put some hatches on these stairs here and completely seal them off. Maybe with a lever or something. You know what, cancel all the thrones here and just make me a bunch of hatch covers. I need about 9 of them to seal that stairwell off. Not making anything here. That's probably, yeah, the only workshop running. So it's midwinter, 677, 25th Opal, and we've got injured dwarves. Ernest McNess, why are you not moving? He needs a diagnosis. I think that we've got 2 or 3 dwarfs. Okay, good, he's moving. What is this? Rith Automuz has risen and is haunting the fortress. Great. So, Rith. I need a memorial slab for him. Where you at, Rith? I can't even make one for him. Oh, come on. Wait, there he is. Someone go make one for Rith there before he decides to destroy the fortress. He's just guarding our food stockpile right now. Rith Cloister Growl. So who is he? We didn't have any more migrants show up. I guess it's possible that he was a merchant, perhaps? Maybe one of the liaisons that showed up and got struck down? I'm not really sure. Yeah, see, I need a ceiling over the top of this one, but I don't know how to build it and seal my dwarfs inside without leaving the dwarf outside. Because they would have to come up here to place the last floor tile, which would seal them onto the roof if I used stairs. Hatches are about the only way I can think to do it. And if my damn cats would stop leaving rodents in the doorway. Good lord. There's also a copper pick dropped in the doorway. These doors have not been closed since I've built them. I'm pretty sure you can go back to the video, and every time they've come up, probably 90% of the time anyways, there's been something stuck in the doorway. Which means I may have to place traps here. That way anything that tries to swoop in and come to the doorway there gets cut into 1,000 pieces. Yep, Ernst McValencia, I am guessing you're paralyzed. You have no job, you're just standing there. Fuck, you're also our psychiatrist and our chief medical dwarf. Does anyone else not have a job? Cicero, you're dumping items. I guess I'll take over the spot because I don't have anything else to do now. Seeing as how I'm no longer the expedition leader. So what do I require? An office. That should be simple enough. Where's my bed at? And I think Ernst McValencia was my wife, right? Great. Okay, so there's your dining hall. Now you don't have to socialize when you eat your plump helmets. And there's your office. I'm not very happy about this. Are you married to Plump? Yes, my lover. And we still don't have any children. Now, seeing as how you're going to be bedridden forever, I doubt that we ever will. I don't know if dwarfs will breed while they're stuck in bed. You know what, let's make some splints. And some crutches. See if we can get a carpenter on that. How many carpenters do I have, real quick? Come here, dwarf therapist. Show me the light. Everyone's a carpenter now. Everyone except Plump. I'm actually going to take off a bunch of his activities. That way maybe he will play doctor. Instead of running around and hauling things. Okay. Recover the wounded, take them to the bedrooms. We have plenty of beds there. Table. I guess I'll have to place a brown siltstone table in there. Dang it. I don't have any microcline tables. Even though I will. Because I have placed a bunch of microcline right here by the workshop. That way whenever I'm ready I can claim it and pump out a bunch of microcline furniture. Oh boy. What are we gonna do with you, McValencia? We're down one dwarf now. Guess we could always... Oh yeah, and... McFarlane's, you freaking cat lover. You adopted a bunch of kittens there. I want to see something. McFarlane's, do you have a lover? Have you found your mate yet? No. I think you are one of the only single dwarves. McNess... So McNess is 2. McValencia, you're with me. Cicero, you're with Urist McKyle. And Revocane, you don't have anybody yet either. So, never mind. I thought there were more couples in the fortress than that. The Wilhelm scream, yeah. I don't know why a rabbit is screaming like that, but whatever. Probably gonna actually remove that scream whenever I do a full fortress. It is definitely iconic. I don't want to hear it. So, hey wait, did they take McValencia down to the hospital bed? Where you at? Yep. Resting. Store, clean. I don't know what he's cleaning. Gonna go clean up a pile of blood apparently here. Yep. Does McValencia... I want to check your health actually. Sensory nerve damage, still waiting on diagnosis. McNess brought you to rest in bed. Thank you, McNess. Cicero is carrying items into the hospital. Those must be the splints that are being created. With any luck, maybe we will have you up and walking again. Restraint cage. Isn't there something to do with crutches that I can build here? Maybe it's under workshops. The training crutch, here we go. I don't know if you'll actually be able to use it, but I'm gonna build one anyways. I'll just build it back in this corner and make it out of marble, sure. And I will assign only McValencia to this, just to see if it'll get him out of bed. I don't think it will. Cleaning. Cicero's coming down here to clean. Are you cleaning the dwarf? No. More blood scattered around the fortress. Here comes the marble. Ernest McKyle constructs it. Glances wistfully over at McValencia, hoping for the best. And, let's see, profile only... No, not McFarlane's. Only McValencia can use it. Crutch walking takes place at the training crutch. Okay. How do I do it? New order, train crutch walking. Here we go. Quantity 1. That'll have to do. If you can't even do 1 day of physical therapy, McValencia, I'm not sure that there's going to be that much hope for you. I'm not going to lock the door and let you wither away just yet, but I will think about it. And McFarlane's comes down here to deal with you with his cat army. He is the cat doctor. What's the diagnosis, Doc? How screwed is she? Is she gonna pull through and make it? Or are we gonna have to put her down eventually? Here I come bringing some water to my loved one. So he's cleaning the patient. What's the diagnosis? I gotta know. Sensory nerve damage. First toe, left foot is broken. It's smashed apart and needs setting. Treatment. Needs cleaning, sutures, setting, and dressing. Good job, McFarlane's. Good evaluation. So, I can only imagine that the sensory nerve damage is not strictly in their hand. That simple toe breakage has paralyzed you for life. Well, I guess that's one hell of a way to end the year. 13th Obsidian, 677 late winter. Not sure what else to say about that. Do we have any other wild animals that I need to worry about? We have Rith the undead still floating around, and Cog the diplomat is out there. A couple mandrills on the other side, so we don't really have to worry about anything like that. Any monsters coming through just yet. Here's a question, are my hatches done? Floor hatch. 2 of them are. Well, we're gonna get there eventually. And then I'm gonna seal that off. We're gonna tightly seal these. And actually forbid passage through them. I'm thinking at some point later on I may open this back up and build a small balcony that overlooks the river, possibly with a walkway and a gangplank, and we'll throw prisoners of war off there all the way down into the river. Of course, if I build it too close right here, they'll bounce off the aqueduct whenever it's built, so I have to figure out what exactly I want to do there. But it is definitely an option. There's that ghost. The slab has been crafted. Let's place that real quick. Yeah, we'll place his slab right here on this corner. Why not? The memorial slab to Rith. Quickly, someone place it before the ghost gets mad. That's a force that we can't fight against. Looks like Revocaine carries it down there. Places the slab and says a prayer. And the ghostly animal caretaker has finally been put to rest, his spirit ripped away from this world. Good for us. Cicero, you're still flashing. Your ability to grasp is somewhat impaired. I was thinking you got a little bit more hurt than normal in that fight. Oh well. I'll keep my eye on McValencia here and hope that they recover. Even though this is never a good sign for dwarfs. Your first toe on your left foot. If you start counting from the left, that means your poor pinky toe has been broken and your whole life has been ruined because of it. You still need sutures, setting, and a dressing. And we'll see what happens after that. I'll be back, hopefully deep into the new year. I'd prefer it to be quiet for a while here. Well, good news. We can still continue to rejoice on our fortress here because it's not a total failure yet. In fact, it hasn't really failed at all in my opinion. And McValencia is now up and walking. Still has slight sensory nerve damage. I'm guessing it's in the right hand there. It doesn't say ability to walk is been diminished or ability to grasp is somewhat impaired. Let's see, the treatment was all taken care of fairly quickly within just a matter of a few weeks there. Plump finished it up with, let's see, a bone setting and then some pigtail grass fiber dressing. I'm gonna have to find a way to get more thread and fabric at some point. Especially if these injuries are gonna continue. I will be, as much as I hate to say it, eventually I'm gonna have to try to breach into the caverns and get as much spider silk as I can. But that's going to be after I spend a season or two training up their martial arts skills, so it's still quite a ways away, hopefully. Besides the medical work that we had going on, still setting up the hatches here. Hopefully this will be sealed off shortly, and I am going to place some traps around through here. I might actually move this entire wood stockpile, move it somewhere else, maybe out here, maybe remove these food stockpiles, move the food stockpiles inside, and then move the wood out there, and then turn this into a room that has traps and things like that in it, because anyone who breaks into the fortress is probably going to have to come through here, unless they fly straight down the central stairwell, through the busted hatches if they can break them. This lever right here is going to control those hatches too. I wanted it far enough away from the hatches that if it's an emergency, I can have a dwarf run over there and try to quickly throw the lever. The last thing you ever want to do is put a lever near an emergency choke point, like a bridge or hatches, because as soon as you are forced to pull that lever, your dwarfs are gonna, they won't be able to, because the monsters will be there, and your dwarfs will be too scared to go pull it, so you'll shoot yourself and your line of defense right in the foot that way. Let's see. That's really it. Still got, I'm letting the dwarves idle around a bit. I haven't been handing out a bunch of jobs. Still, I'm crafting a bunch of giant axe blades here, preparing mills and hatch covers. Pretty much just real basic stuff. I don't plan on expanding the fortress very much anytime soon. I really want the dwarfs to have maybe even a year of free time soon. That way they can continue to form relationships and fall in love, and hopefully give us some babies here in the fortress so we can begin expanding our numbers, because there's no more migrant waves coming unless I raise the population limit, which I really don't intend to. It's just going to be these dwarfs and the kids that we have. And it is 678 early spring. Population of 7, and they are all healthy and able to work, thankfully. Well, I guess that it's update time. It's been quite a while since I've actually updated anything in-game. It is now 680 late spring. You can ignore the population. It says that there's 20, but besides the starting 7, the other 13 are out here running around, trying not to be slaughtered by the kobolds, I think. We do get ambushed frequently. I just haven't been showing them because they're mostly unimportant. They just chase merchants away. What is important is what's been going on in the fortress. I believe I already showed that this tower here is complete. This stone little guard tower. I've got the hatches on the top of the stairwell, and they're now connected to a lever, so I can seal that off. I also have some weapon traps here. They each have 10 stone axes in them, so anything that steps on these should be probably killed. I can't imagine very many creatures actually living through that, and I will probably build a few more traps just to block this all off. So I'm throwing a party down there too. That's fairly frequent. I don't have anybody farming right now because our stockpiles are set up pretty well, it appears. Even got tons of meat from butchering the cats and rabbits that have been breeding. I don't know exactly what I haven't updated on. I smoothed down everything on most of the Z levels now. I added on this little kitchen area, and I'll continue to adjust the layout as I figure out where everything needs to go, because I know I need a few more workshops in here, and I may have a food stockpile actually back here, because all of the food is still kept on the top Z level, right out here by our pasture. We no longer have ducks. The nesting boxes were never used, but I struck the ducks down because they were getting ready to die of old age. One of the female ducks had died, and so it was just a duck and a drake left, and they had never claimed any of those breeding boxes. I think I was doing something wrong there, but I'm not entirely sure yet. That may be something I try to find out in another fortress I play before the new version comes out, because I want to have all that stuff down so I don't have to focus on it too much. The other thing you're going to see right here, all the way down, is the water system that I am planning out. You can see it's going to have windows right here, so the dwarfs will at least be able to see it through the glass. I'm thinking I may actually just leave a walkway, depending on how much flooding happens. A walkway with some built-in floor grates so it still drains, perhaps? I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I still don't have a trade depot for any of them. What else do we have going on? But this is where the water is going to pool into.
there will be actually a middle section here where the water does not drain. Or will it? I still haven't decided how I'm going to separate it here. Because it's going to drain down into these two tunnels here. And then go down several Z levels. And will funnel out the cliff face right here. And I will probably have doors attached right here that I can seal shut with levers. That way I can continue to flood the rest of the tunnels. This is an access tunnel, and this is going to be... I'm not actually sure yet. May just be the lever room that operates the, I don't know, dozen or so doors I'm probably going to have scattered around this aqueduct system by the time I'm done with it. Because another thing I plan to do with the water here, as I was looking at this, is since these are the gel cells, I'm going to channel out a water tunnel right here and give them their own little water reservoir in each gel cell. That way I don't have to worry about a drink stockpile there. I don't have to worry about anyone bringing the prisoners water. They can still starve to death, but they should have a well. Maybe I won't even make it a well. Maybe I'll just channel it out and have an open pit of water there that, I don't know, maybe they'll try to suicide into. I'm not entirely sure how well that'll work out. If they're gonna fall into it while they're in their gel cell and die, I'm not sure I want it. But at the very least, they'll have a fresh source of water. I'm also going to add water to the hospitals here. That way the doctors don't have to take their buckets several Z levels away in order to water the patients. They'll have a well right in the middle of each hospital. And I'm thinking I'm actually going to make each of these a hospital instead of any type of training area. The training room for now that I'm going to set up soon, as soon as I get all the furniture crafted, will be on this Z level right here. And that way we can have at least military fairly close to the top of the central stairwell should any invaders try to break in. Because at some point, probably towards the very end of the fortress, I am going to try to remove the walls, and we'll either invite a whole bunch of migrants in and have one last hurrah, or we'll just send the starting 7 dwarfs out to try and clear any enemies that are out there. The only real thing we've had to worry about so far is dozens of kobolds showing up and ambushing everything that show up. And yeah, tons of spam from the dwarfs that are stuck outside, but I'm not going to let them in, and I'm hoping that they'll be dead soon enough. I guess I actually could have them start building out here, couldn't I? Do we have any woodcutters out there? It doesn't appear like it. How about we actually do something here? I can make them set up their own little trade depot, perhaps. All of that forest has grown back. I guess maybe I could start working on the outside village a little bit. I got tons of wood to work with. Okay. We'll set up the trade depot. Hell, right here for now. Look at that. 83 maple. Okay, go build that there, dwarves. And I'm gonna have them carry a ton of wood over here. Let's see. Take all of the wood and stockpile it right there if you can. Just to try to kind of clear up some of this mess out here. That way I can see where the open areas are, so I can start designing their little huts and houses. They're all going to be carpenters out there, that's right. I've been wanting to ignore them and let them die, but I do want to set up a little outdoor village here. I'm not going to name all of them either, though. I kind of gave up on that. There can be Asmel, the Duck, Raw, Kadol, Urist, the Cut, and names that none of us will remember, and names that'll be an absolute pain in the ass trying to look up whenever they inevitably come back from the dead to haunt my dwarves, and I need to carve a memorial stone for them. Is there any other surprises around here? I don't think I've actually done that much. I tried to give the dwarfs a ton of time off. Oh yeah, that's why I should explain why we even have migrants. I gave the dwarfs at least a year off to where they didn't have to do anything. And I was hoping that they would pump out some kids, pump out some children into the fortress, but that never happened, and I think the reason was because I set my population cap too low. I set the population cap to 2, which I believe, and I could be wrong, but it seems to me that it made it so none of the dwarfs would have kids. Because I feel like we most certainly should have, because they were doing nothing but partying and standing around for that entire year. So, we'll see what 680 brings. Hopefully, it brings us a few more members to our fortress here. And none of those dirty beggar dwarfs outside our walls. I don't think we're ever going to let them in, if we can help it.
Well, the first real test, I guess, of our fortress, and if my defenses are going to be sufficient to keep us alive on the inside, has finally arrived. A vile force of darkness is here. And it looks like it's just werewolves, so we actually should be fine. As far as I know, werewolves cannot fly over the walls or climb them. I have the dwarfs that are outside carrying a whole bunch of stuff to the trade depot, and I am shipping off as much stuff as I can, because the landscape is basically littered. Yeah, here they come. The landscape is basically littered with corpses and various clothing articles and just junk that I want cleared up and removed. I'm also walling off another section of the fortress here, as you'll see. And eventually my plan is to seal it off completely once I've got it loaded down with wood, and make sure that there's no outside dwarves in there. So they're basically building an extension of our fortress here. Yeah, it looks like the werewolves are gonna easily run away with this one, perhaps. I'm not sure how many werewolf squads showed up, but those elves are putting up one hell of a fight. Run for your life, merchant. That werewolf wants that yak real bad. So, the future plan is to have this all boxed in with wood, and then cut these trees down, build walls, and then remove this wall and turn this into more pasture land for our animals, because I can't really expand past one page of animals here. A lot of these animals that are currently in this list are actually outside the walls of the fortress, and they don't count towards eating the grass here. But the animal, this small area of pasture that I have, I've got this entire grass area set up for a pen/pasture. It doesn't seem to be enough to keep my animals fed, and they continually starve to death. Run for your lives, dwarves! I could have put them all in a military squad and tried to have them fight back, but I really want them to die. I don't want them out there. The only reason I even upped the population cap is so that maybe some of our dwarfs inside will have some kids, and we'll continue our fortress here. All of this, yeah, these readings can't be right. There must be a whole bunch of food and drink trapped outside still. I might have to forbid that somehow. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Starting to channel out the aqueduct here. Good lord, one of the dwarfs outside is throwing a tantrum. But I'm slowly channeling out this little water shaft where the waterfall will go. Smoothing down all of the walls here too. Final preparations preparing anyways for beginning Operation Capture the Waterfall, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, see, there's still too many of those bastards alive out there. We're up to 32 dwarves. And it's sick. There's too many of them out there. I really wish at least one of them had an axe, or was an axe dwarf, so that we could chop down these trees, dang it. Oh well. Running around like chickens with their heads cut off right now.
The fish cleaner has been nommed on by the werewolves and is struck down. How many werewolves do we have here? Look at all those caged animals. Invader. Only 3 werewolves left? That's awful. And a ghostly bower. Who is flying up there. What's his name? Ustath Lolokakum? Ustath Lolokakum, huh? There he is. We'll get him a memorial slab engraved, place it in the tomb area here, and get him locked away before he can cause any damage to any important dwarfs here. The elites are casually locked away inside their fortress. That sounded like another ghost. I wouldn't be surprised. That sounded like another ghost possibly rising from the dead. I know he wasn't being put to sleep. Being put to rest because I didn't place anything. I did not place a memorial thing. And again, I'm not sure how much more of this fortress I'm going to actually record. I may actually off-screen a whole bunch of it. I know I was talking about it, but this fortress is already getting up to about 4 or 5 hours long. And 3toad just put out a post that says the release of the new version is right around the corner. I'm not going to be recording the new version right away. It'll probably take me a month or 2, depending on how quickly Dion releases his updates. Hint, hint, poke, poke to Dion there. But I will be doing a full-length fortress then. This was just for fun. I'll be testing some more things that I haven't got around to just yet. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else going on, really. Besides a werewolf going for a swim there. Tinder Clouds, the island of conflict. Apparently the piranhas don't want anything to do with him. Are there any other werewolves trapped down there? Looks like he's the only one who jumped off. Oh well, he'll be down there for quite some time, and unfortunately, that also means he's going to cause problems as soon as I try to build the doors here. That way I can drain the water, because the dwarfs are going to channel out a hole there and see him just standing down there grinning up at them, floating from the surface of the water, and then they'll refuse to finish that door. So this group of 7 may actually go into military training, probably around 682, 683. I'll give them 2 or 3 years of nothing but training and harvesting crops, because we got to keep them fed. And then we'll see what they're capable of. I'll get them set up on training dummies, of course. In fact, I want the training dummies to be outside. So I'm going to unforbid these doors. We'll make these all passable. And, let's see. All of my dwarfs are going to have axes, I've decided. There'll be axe dwarfs and archer dwarfs. I think that I can set that up. I think that I can train them in both. If not, it'll be a good test of my ability to manage my dwarven squads. Where are the training dummies? Is that under workshops? So many workshops I need to build too still. And test out just to see how they work. I still don't know what the loading and unloading stations do, because I haven't tried them. Scriptorium. There we go, training dummy. Right below training crutch. I'm blind. Oh, I have no access to cloth. So I actually may need to try to break into the caverns at some point. Unless, of course, we have these foolish dwarves that are stuck outside bring a bunch of cloth right here. Go bring me some cloth, little beggar dwarves out there. I'll try to get them to carry in a whole bunch of important things from here before they all die or go crazy. The werewolves are still having a field day out there. The few that are left. Looks like there's 2 of them running around up there. There goes one, and the other one is right here. And the third one that we saw on the units list, of course, has taken a little swim. So, that's all that's going on right now. It's 5th limestone, population of 21, and I'm going to let the dwarves out there just continue to run around. Because really, they are not important at all. Okay, I think I'm about ready to break one of my rules here. This dwarf, Kavish Balaban, is the sole remaining dwarf from the group that was outside. He's finished carrying in a bunch of stuff, chopped down all the trees, built the walls, and still he remains high in spirit. He's got one kill, a dragon raptor that showed up, Tarnish Ocean, the dragon raptor. And he's from the Steel clan, so he will make a very good warrior. Of course, his wife is dead. She died in the werewolf ambush, and all of his passing acquaintances are dead too. He worships Dostab, associated with peace, so he's a peaceful dwarf, but he's been forced to live a life of bloodshed and hardship out there. I believe that it is time to give him the final room out of these 8 rooms here, and welcome him into our fortress. The first outsider that we're going to allow to actually stay inside will be him. He's earned it, so he can go ahead and place those walls there as soon as he feels like it, that is. He's got no job. He shouldn't be on duty. Yeah, they're not scheduled for active duty. And if he makes it in time, if he hurries up and builds that wall, I'll suspend that one, so we'll build this one and stay inside the fenced-in area here, and then we'll remove these walls and let him join us. I don't know what his name is going to be yet. Yeah, I'm still not sure. At this point, I still only have 6 names to choose from. But I might grab a random name and give it to him. He's certainly earned it, and he may actually be our military trainer. So he probably has the highest fighting skills out of all of them. A competent fighter, a competent wrestler, a great potter. So he doesn't really have any real good skills. That's not why we're bringing him into the fortress. He's earned it, though. Maybe, if he's actually gonna do anything. Did I turn off something on him? Did I turn off one of the options I should have left on? Let's try this right here. He should be doing something. He's on break. I was gonna say, maybe he's had a mental snap and he's a secret closet psycho. Maybe we shouldn't let him into the fortress. But yeah, he'll get the last bedroom. I did dig out and design 8 bedrooms, and quite frankly, we need somebody else inside this fortress. We're not having any kids, it seems like. An ambush. Damn it. He better hurry up, because he's about ready to get stomped on by a bunch of kobolds. They're just over the edge there, and they're chasing a stray eland calf. Buddy, you better move it. I'm gonna station him right there. So he's got carpentry on. He's got building construction on. Well, no, I take it back. He's probably going to die here. Let me go ahead and station him right around the corner. Maybe that'll save his life. Nope, he takes off charging after him. So we'll watch the death of Kavish here, unless he's just so badass that he can chop down all of these kobolds. If he is, then he definitely needs to come inside our fortress. We'll take it just a few turns at a time here. I'll hold down press the 1 frame at a time button. The kobold hammerman attacks him, but he jumps to the side. The flying steel arrow strikes the eland calf, tearing the skin, so they're striking it over there. The hammerman kicks the militia captain in the right foot, bruising the muscle. The kobold hammerman bashes Kavush in the left foot, bruising the muscle. He dives on top of one. He charges, and the kobold bowman jumps to the side. He slams into the wall and plows through the kobolds and is going to be quickly surrounded. The hammerman's tumbled over and is knocked backwards. He dives on top of him. The kobold scrambles to the side. The militia captain attacks the hammerman, but he rolls away. They're trying. I think he just put him in a chokehold. Do you not have any real weapons? I guess he doesn't. Militia captain grabs him. He's just charging into him. Grabs him by the hand. Bends the kobold finger back. And drives the kobold to the ground. He's got that one in his sights. He's not very happy with him. He's got a right foot and a left foot injury, so I'm just going to unpause it and see what happens here. Fight for your life, Kavash. You need to go into a martial trance. He scatters those kobolds. Good job. Wounds both of them. Rips their throat out. You need to go around the corner there and hide. Now, why will you not build a wall? You're not on active duty. Build this wall and save yourself, Kavash. Do it. He's picking up equipment right now. I don't know what he's grabbing. An axe or something? Why will you not save yourself? We want you inside the fortress, Kavash. I think he wants nothing to do with the stuck-up dwarves inside after watching all of his friends die, I guess. He says he'd rather die out here on the battlefield than hidden inside a cowardly fortress vault. But we're not hiding. We've just got long-term plans. You don't understand. We're not willing to throw our lives away, Kavash. Get off your break. Kills, 2 kills. He only killed 1 kobold there before the other ones ran away. And the other one that he injured must have crawled himself out of there. I'm gonna check Dwarf Therapist here again, see exactly what am I missing. He's got masonry. He's got architecture. He's got woodworking, carpentry, woodcutting. There's really no reason why he shouldn't be building that wall. Except because he's just being stubborn, I guess. And where did these kobolds go? Maybe they scattered? The death of one of their friends? The outpost liaison has arrived. I still need to get a liaison inside to meet with one of our leaders as well, even though we don't have any time to actually sit down and meet with them. Kavash, get yourself off break now. He's now an expert fighter, dabbling armor user. He is the dashing, daring Kavish. And he's being absolutely stubborn for some reason. Build that wall, Mr. Kavish. Well, great. Who just rose up? Fath Ziklamaz. Let's get him a memorial stone crafted. Fath Zimelclikalaz. There we go. At some point, I have a feeling that the ghosts are just gonna overwhelm and swarm our fortress, and then just start a ghostly massacre of everybody that's hiding inside. The karma and the bad juju will eventually catch up to the dwarfs in there, and they will pay a very, very high price, I have to imagine. So, I guess I'm just gonna get back to off-screening. Kavish will hopefully build this wall and join our dwarfs. He needs carpentry. He's not a carpenter, actually. He has the skill enabled, but he has no points in it. So I'm going to disable everything else on his skill sheet here. Good lord. A great potter. I don't even know what type of pottery I can make. But he can do it. And he did it! Oh, good job. I was starting to worry about you, Kavash. So, let's remove the walls here. I'll remove this whole section right there. He can start to remove it, and he can join our dwarves. Let's see, his squad, the Paints of Selling. We can go ahead and disband it and add him to the Dishes of Paddling. Don't know what his name is going to be yet, but I'll get it figured out, and we will welcome him to the fortress. He can choose the last open and free bedroom, obviously, and make himself at home. He has made it. After all these years of traveling and all of that fighting and survival he did out there, he is now safe within our walls for the time being. Don't much care about the merchants or the diplomat out there, though. So, it's 25th Timber, 680, late autumn, and we now have a real population of 8. Let's just hope we start getting some kids made here. Did he go get some food? No, that's Revocane. It's harvest season. The dwarfs are back to farming. Some more good news from the fortress here. I guess that Plump could sense some competition in the fortress, so he got busy, and McValencia has given birth to the first baby boy in the fortress. It is 681 mid-spring. Still a bunch of migrants outside. Of course, they show up all throughout the year, and quite frankly, there's just not enough danger out there to keep the herd thinned down. So they graze, and they do their thing out there. I don't have any more plans for them. I don't think I'm going to have them build a wood village like I had originally talked about. What's that? A white tiger, size 300, a fierce white-black striped predator. It is rarely seen, and its bones and teeth are highly sought after. Well, hopefully it's going to hunt down some of the dwarves and feast on them, because I don't want them out there. But there we go, there is the baby, being carried around by McValencia, who has an injured hand. Our only son. I don't know what the name is going to be yet. I will think about it. There's not that many ways you can combine Plump and Valencia, so I'll come up with something. Let's see. Let's take a look at the baby. It is a member of the Obsidian clan. Has a short temper, angers easily, but it can still handle the stress. He just likes to be pissed off. Tends to avoid crowds, appreciates art and natural beauty, and tends not to openly express emotions. Only 1 day old, born on the 4th of Sandstone in the year 681. He detests lizards. He likes to consume char, muckroots, and whipvine. Char, huh? Like charcoal? I'm not exactly sure what char is. Sounds like it would be something left over from charcoal. So our boy likes to chew on charcoal briquettes, it appears, but that's fine. It's good for a dwarf's constitution to chew up rocks and things like that every once in a while. Keeps them healthy, keeps their digestive tract flowing and cleaned out. I have the reservoirs for the prison system planned out here, and the hatches are being laid. That way I can pull the hatches, and any water coming down will flood the reservoir, and then I can open the hatches and let the water go back down. That's why I dug a channel here, because this will store an additional layer of water. And I have a walkway, just in case we need to do any maintenance down here or anything like that. I'll probably also add an access doorway here and here, because otherwise the only way to actually get into the tunnel system here to work on it or to expand it would be to come through these doorways here and up the stairs, which is going to be quite hard if the water is pouring down it. But there's going to be multiple ways to stop the water from coming into the fortress. I'm not going to be too careless with it. One of the things I'm going to do whenever I do start expanding the bridge here, the aqueduct that will capture this waterfall, the very end of it right here is actually going to be completed with a bridge. So the bridge will be able to expand and retract whenever I need to, if we need to stop the water from flowing into the fortress. Let's see, is there anything else going on besides that little baby being born? I don't believe there is. I moved the wood stockpile. Oh yeah, I did build a training room right there. But I've moved the wood stockpile up here into this open area, and I'm also continuing to work on the guard towers here that our archers will eventually patrol. And the training room is just about completed. There's a few more things I want to do in here to get it ready, but then, like I said, the dwarfs will spend 2, maybe even 3 or 4 seasons doing nothing but training in there. They do need to get a little bit of combat skill, because I know that as soon as we breach the caverns,
if we breach the caverns. There's going to be forgotten beasts show up, I believe. I don't know if forgotten beasts have a population cap.
There is a tantrum happening.
I don't think they do. I think that forgotten beasts simply require that you break into the caverns, but I could be wrong. I don't know the game mechanics that well, and how to exploit them. I know how to exploit enough, apparently, but not everything yet. So I'm going to let the dwarves get back to smoothing things down, digging things out, and yeah, I don't really have anything else planned just yet.
The dwarf failed to build his artifact and is going berserk. Watch out, he's
Bukar
gonna
went
hurt someone.
berserk there, oh well. The dwarves scatter, and he can get to massacring the unwashed masses out there. We don't care about them. Okay, I was not expecting this. This might actually be the end of the fortress. I hate to be, so pessimistic about it, but the Thunderbird Fyra has come. A giant bird-like monster that nests in the high mountains. Its hunt can range over the entire known world, and it will kill anything it can carry back to its perch. So there it is, right here. Fyra, the Thunderbird. It's gigantic, its feathers are brown, skin is pink, and its eyes are pitch black. For the time being, it can humor itself with the animals out there and the random stray dwarves. I think I'm going to scramble the military squad. The dishes of paddling, you will activate all of them and send them right here to the central stairwell. Maybe that'll give them enough time to grab their gear and weapons and prepare for the worst. It will have to make it unless it has trap avoid. Good lord, everything's being struck down. But it will have to make it through these traps. Stray large beetle larva. Is it really the Firebird that is doing all of that? Just threw that llama off the cliff down into the water? I'm kind of scared of this thing. Everybody grab your weapons and get your ass inside to the safe zone. The Thunderbird jumps away from the flying black steel bolt. So it's fighting somewhere. What do we got? An archer down there, apparently? What is that? Is that a ghost? Is that thing flying through the air? Oh, he's a hunter. Tholtig, the hunter. Well, good luck, hunter. An armorer has bled to death. There it is, right there. It's kind of hard to keep track of. I wish that this game had a track NPC option. That way you could hook onto the Firebird and it would automatically zoom around with it. But there it goes. Maybe it'll even... Yeah, it's even going to rip apart the kobolds. Is it wounded at all? It's got a right wing injury. And it just decimated that kobold ambush. Nope, you're not going to get away from it. Good lord, that thing is fast and frightening. Ernst McFallens, you have been promoted to the expedition leader. Actually, I think you might have been the expedition leader for a while now. Okay, most of the dwarfs are here. Oh good, everybody is being struck down and bleeding to death. Tholtig the hunter just bled to death. Well, if it took down a trained hunter, I have no doubt that it's going to make short work of the rest of us. Where is it at? The uninvited guest, Fira, here. That dwarf just got his head ripped off and his eyeballs plucked out. Run for your lives, dwarves. Leave this place. It's no longer safe. We've attracted a forgotten beast for some reason. I didn't think that it would show up yet. I thought that I had much more time to prepare. Oh boy, where is it? Don't go down that edge. There's only death and destruction down there. So there it is, right there. And it'll fly away soon, I imagine. Wait, is it wounded or something? Its right wing is cut open where a bolt clipped through it. Yeah, another kobold thief. They pop up all the time. A caravan? I really hope that they brought some guards with them. Another thief runs away.
The Thunderbird strikes the Ranger. Save us, Ranger! I'm not sure he's going to be able to. Zolban, Tomb Shadows, the Ranger. He's actually putting up a pretty good fight. The bird's got a name now. Fira Cloudfly, the renowned breach. The renowned ass kicker. He rips that Ranger in half. Throws part of his torso over the cliff there. And then swoops down and pounces on another dwarf. There's English charging after him. Where'd he go? So how badly damaged is he? Its left wing is completely broken and cut open. Left lower leg is broken. Cut open. Upper body is cut open. Liver is broken. Quick! Throw some ale on him! Good lord, that was a loud scream. Still just sitting there, picking apart the lone dwarfs that were fishing down by the water, trying to get a little bit of food. Chases that dwarf down and rips him to bits. Yeah, all of the merchants arrived at the trade depot. There go 2 more dwarfs. We're down to 19 dwarfs. Still have a ton of dwarfs. This one, Moses, he says, nope, I am running away as quickly as I can. Come on, Firebird, let's see what you've got. I'm not taunting it or anything, I just know it's a matter of time until it shows up to our fortress, and I would prefer it to be sooner rather than later. We'll let all those dwarfs out there slow him down. And I have to keep my eye on it, otherwise it'll swoop inside the fortress when I'm not looking. And kill everyone. An artery has been severed, and yeah, that dwarf just had his leg ripped off. There it is. It's finally made it up to the top. Right here at my mouse pointer in the bottom right. And he's off to his next victim. The dwarf tries to scatter, but the bird quickly pinches his head off with its beak. It even goes and strikes down a poor, innocent, defenseless animal that was just sitting there. 4 dwarves see it. A big ball of fire swooping through the air. That one's down. And it just leapfrogs from one to the next. And good, they did bring some guards. Oof. With any luck, maybe they will be able to save us. We'll just watch it. Come on, somebody land an arrow right in a critical spot on that bird. It's beat up a lot. It's fractured, beaten, and bruised. If they could just cut the wings off so that it can't fly over the walls and land in there. There we go. It's winded now. It's starting to exert and exhaust itself. The merchants have scattered. There it is. It lands right in front of that dusk elf, and I think it was just killed by this one right here. Unimate Amifivo. Got the killing blow on it. Let's see. The flying iron moon arrow strikes the Thunderbird in the head, tearing the muscle, fracturing the skull, and tearing the brain. Oh, so that trade depot saved our life. The bird had a chance. It easily could have just swooped inside the fortress here. Okay, the dishes are paddling. You can stand down. Code Red is over with. Everyone go back to smoothing down walls and digging out tunnels. What type of armor do they have on anyways? Mikhail. Sun Gold Elven Boots. Sun Gold Battle Axe. Some of them are fairly well equipped. Sun Gold Armor, Sun Gold Mail Shirt for Revocane. Forest Cat Tallow in his hand. What do you have for a weapon? You've got a Sun Gold Shield and a Sun Gold Serpent Flail. Whenever I had a bunch of stuff behold in here, I had a ton of armor and weapons carried inside too, which is where they're getting all of that Sun Gold from. So that did pay off. What are you doing here? Cicero? Oh yeah, I named the baby Valanumpia. That is the name of the baby that will someday become a great warrior, I'm sure. So crisis averted. It's 24th Fell Site, 681 late spring, and hopefully, if we're lucky, we won't have another Forgotten Beast show up for quite quite a while, but of course there's no telling. Could be one just right around the corner, and it could be way more deadly than a firebird. Got another siege on our hands here. Another vile force of darkness has arrived. Let's see who it is this time. Oh, just more werewolves. So yeah, no big deal. Again, I'm not real concerned about sieges, and unless they show up on flying mounts. And then there's always the possibility, though it's not guaranteed, that they'll fly over our walls and try to destroy us. It is late summer, 681. And that's really all that's going on. So, I will be back, and hopefully whenever I come back, all the dwarfs outside will be dead. Okay, and I'm busy putting ghosts to rest, because they continue to pop up every once in a while, and one ghost even popped up over here and killed one of the dwarfs that were outside. In fact, no, it wasn't that dwarf. It was this dwarf's body, I think. But, yeah. So again, at some point in the future, this fortress is probably going to have to call the Ghostbusters, because there's a lot of dead dwarfs out there, and it's only going to continue to get worse until migrants decide that this place is a death trap and no longer want to show up. So yeah, what a lovely future we have to look forward to here.
There's an unhappy dwarf throwing a tantrum.
Crybaby! Okay, let's take a quick look around the fortress. Primarily came back here because there's one thing that is just, it's kind of hilarious to me. Cicero here, for some reason he continually attracts the attention of the ghosts that roam our fortress. So right there he is, he's working diligently, and once again there is a ghost that is bothering him. In fact, he's the only dwarf I have seen who is continually haunted and bothered by ghosts. In fact, it even shows up here. He has been haunted by the dead lately. So, for some reason, the ghosts just love to harass him. Cicero, are you married or anything like that? Yeah, Ernest McKyle is your lover. Luck and gambling god, metals and minerals. I don't know why the ghosts love to bother you. Ever since they chopped your hand off. Is that another ghost? Yeah, there's Staub right there. That's where Cicero was not too long ago. He was busy cooking our meals there. And that's whenever I noticed that ghost following him around. Now there's that one. So, you've been haunted, Cicero, and for a while he was actually very unhappy about the living conditions. I have to imagine that the ghosts constantly whispering in his ear and threatening to chop off his other hand is quite traumatic. I would be unhappy with that as well. I'm putting the finishing touches on the aqueduct system here. I got the access doorways built, and I'll place doors here that will be locked by a lever system. Let's see, what else are we doing? Oh yeah, I'm dumping all of the stones and gems from the waterways, because once it's filled with water, we're never going to be able to go back in there. And I want the stones to be gone. Let's see. Dumping them all. All of the stones in the aqueducts are being dumped right here, right close to our work area. Still have a few dwarfs outside that are running around, occasionally getting slaughtered by werewolf sieges. I think the werewolves get bored, because we don't actually beat them. They just kill a bunch of dwarfs and then they leave. And this werewolf here has been strangling this siege operator forever. It has to have been for months now. Just pages and pages. Okay, let's see. There's page... Let's go back to page 99. All from page 1 all the way down to page 99 is this poor siege operator being strangled. The werewolf just for some reason cannot crush the life out of him. Yuvash is unconscious, exhausted, winded. He was beat up. The other werewolves were all just standing around for the longest time, Just a huge group of werewolves here, just cheering this one on as he strangled this one into the ground. And he's just not been able to finish the job. I'm not entirely sure what his problem is or why he won't finish it, but oh well. That is that. There's no more werewolves down here. I assume that the werewolf stragglers that did fall in just floated downriver. I don't think the piranhas bothered with them. I never saw that happen. So I assume that they just eventually floated downriver and vanished, thankfully. Which means that I will be able to complete the doorways here. Well, unless they see the piranhas and get scared. I didn't think about the piranhas. So there's a ton of things that could possibly go wrong and will make me be unable to finish this. But we're at least going to open it up at some point and get the water flowing. And I guess, again, that also is only if I can get the dwarves to build a bridge out here without being scared of the piranhas and things like that 9 sea levels below. It doesn't matter how far away the monsters or even the animals are. If the dwarves can see them, oh shit, it's time to panic. It's time to freeze up and run around screaming. So yeah, that's what we've got going on right now. 682, early summer. Tons of cats are following Ernest McFallens around. I think I'm just going to let the cats breed for now. Just let them possibly take over the fortress. My animal farm up here, everything is pretty much dying. Even though I have all of this set up to be a pasture area. Well, I don't have that set up anymore. Whoops. It hasn't been unpasteurized for that long. But I wanted to get these animals moved down from up here because they were all congregating here and turning it into a sand pit. Which I believe means the grass won't grow, and they're not smart enough to move somewhere else, it seems like, to get grass. I still don't understand the pen and pasture system very well. But it is what it is, and I've got like 4 or 5 animals there. Yay! Is that Cicero chopping wood? He's such a handy person, even though he's only got one hand. He does everything around here. He's always wherever I'm looking. And now we've got this area cleared out, which I wanted to make this into food stockpiles. Just bring a bunch of food in here. Because I've been running out of places to store food, it seems like. I don't have that much. Only 681 food stockpiles. And I'm almost positive that those numbers there are only the food that are inside the fortress. Because I did go ahead and forbid everything outside the fortress on every Z level. Bodies, items, everything was forbidden because I don't want that stuff contaminating my stock counts. Ernest McFallens. He's pulling an animal over here to the pen, apparently. Dropping it off. Well, whatever it takes to get them mobilized and eating the proper grass. They're grazing on the dead graveyard right now. I'm not going to bother burying these dwarfs because I don't have any coffins made. And they are unimportant. We don't have to bury them just yet. However, if one of these dwarfs die, one of the named elite dwarfs here, I will have to build a ton of coffins. Because every coffin that I place is going to be claimed by a dead dwarf outside, which means there's probably about 100 dead dwarves just waiting for a coffin. Even though we're not going to put their remains in the coffins, and even though they already have a memorial slab, they will still claim a coffin. So, whenever we come back, I don't know what we'll be doing, but I'm hoping that we'll be getting very close to beginning to build the bridge out there. And my biggest concern with building this bridge is that we're going to have an ambush of kobold archers or something, spring on the top, and then just rain down death and arrows on my dwarves. I'm hoping that that don't happen. Okay, let's check in on the fortress. It is 82nd, or 682 midwinter, still 82nd of the century here, and we've got 26 dwarfs, most of them still outside. Also, I'm gonna die choking, coughing, and laughing here. It's taken all my strength not to die laughing from this, but the beast man, the gray werewolf is still strangling the siege operator. 128 pages now, and I know that they've been going for more than that. It's just non-stop choking him. In fact, the Beastman even leveled up into an elite wrestler right now, which is absolutely horrifying if he decides to stick around on my map. Because that werewolf is out there training all of his skills. Well, not all of his skills, but at least his combat skills. Yavash, he must have a really thick neck. Maybe he has no neck, and maybe that's why he hasn't died yet. Still unconscious, exhausted, and winded. He's quite content being choked out, even though he has sustained major injuries. He's a Stone Clan dwarf. Thick skin, muscles, and almost lack pain receptors. Bones are hard. That's probably why he hasn't died yet. Absolutely inexhaustible, amazingly agile and mighty, but still kind of flimsy and susceptible to disease. So she must just have it's a she. She must just have the perfect stats or something like that. Yeah, she's the peaceful dwarf she's a peaceful dwarf, at least her god is, associated with trade, wealth, death, war, and fortresses. That's a task, the fang of conflict. Well, you must be praying to your god there or something, I don't know. But there they are, forever locked in mortal combat, until a merchant caravan comes through and fills the werewolf full of arrows, and then actually, that's one thing I did want to check. What's the stats on that dwarf? Have they gained anything? Adequate, competent armor user. I think she might be gaining armor points as she gets choked out there. She's just got spider silk clothing on. But I don't know, if her skills get high enough, I may try to sneak her into the fortress here and add her to our army. What else do we have going on? Still placing memorial slabs for every ghost that pops up. Doesn't look like we have any right now. We do have a diplomat waiting outside, but they can wait for a while. I know I'm forgetting something here. This right here is what I'm forgetting. Whenever I look at it, I don't know exactly how I'm going to finalize this design. I think I might channel out these two edges and then build a wall here. Well, actually, if I channel out this edge here, it won't actually drain down because there's a wall underneath it. That's fine. I probably... Well, you know, I could remove that wall, right? Where is it? Right there. Yeah. I really shouldn't have built those two walls. So we'll let the water actually just come down through there. And I will channel... Or I don't need to channel it out. It already is channeled. Removing those walls will open up the drainage there a bit. I'm not worried about the water backing up and overflowing the fortress right here. I believe that these two drainage pipes down to the stairs here will be more than enough. And I'm going to have them dump these stones as soon as they're done. I got these doors to the side rooms here hooked up to the levers. Actually, before you dwarfs run too far, go dump those, dump that, and as soon as Mikhail finishes here. Mikhail, you have no clothing on, just a sun gold pick. You're running around. You are no longer the expedition leader. I think you were at one point. Seems like a lot of the dwarfs have actually cycled through the expedition leader position. The dwarfs here try to, I guess, spread the power around a little bit, spread the stress around of being the leader, it seems like. Nobody wants to hang on to it for too long. But yeah, these doors are hooked up to these levers, obviously for their respective sides. These levers here are hooked up to hatches over the stairwell here. And I decided that I wasn't going to put doors here. That was just overcomplicating things. There's no reason for that. At least not in this fortress. But I decided to turn them into fortifications instead. There's another ghost that popped up out of nowhere and battered Ushhat. But the water will still drain through fortifications, thankfully. So what did you lose, Ushat? Or is Ushat crazy? No, he just got bashed in the head, or the upper body, and broke his left true rib. So, another ghost here to cause chaos. What was his name? Latast Noel Thumora. This is becoming a real pain in the ass right here. Trying to hunt down these individual dwarfs just because there's so many of them. Latast. Come on out, Latast. And normally because, there it is. Normally because I also forget their name. Because there's like sometimes 3, 4, even 5 different dwarfs with the same names and then similar last names. That list really needs to be alphabetized or something. I don't know what to do about it. Or at least whenever you do carve a memorial slab that they no longer show up in that list. That would rock too. Okay, so that's opened. Let's go ahead and, well, I don't want to wall this off. What I wanted to go here, actually maybe I'll wall it off for now. Yeah, I'll wall it off. Eventually I'm going to open this up, remove this wall here, and turn it into glass. Probably, depending on how long I stick around the fortress. Wait a second, dwarves. Wait a second. I wanted them to use these stones here, so they wouldn't be stuck back there. So we'll let them grab those. But I guess some of the water will fall down this vent, some will fall down this vent, and some will splash onto this middle part here. And I would like to have windows lining possibly even both of these areas at some point. Maybe put glass windows here. I'm still not sure. It doesn't give them good mood bonus unless I guess the mist actually splashes on them, which is where this part comes in right here, because there should be mist right here that'll splash over the edge, and maybe I'll add a little cafe here or something like that, just some chairs and tables, or maybe a meeting area. That way somebody can fall down in there and need us to retrieve them. Well, if no one goes to dump that stone, that must mean that it's being used. So we'll claim it and try this out. One of the dwarves should go grab it, and yeah. There we go. So, now that that part's done, all of the rocks are cleared out from the water system there. Let's go ahead and start building this while we can. First thing I need to do here is I'm going to mine out this entire wall. And I'll keep you guys here and try to designate and build this bridge all on camera. It's probably going to be pretty boring. And I'm still worried about actually building this thing out here, because I expect an ambush or a siege at any point to show up and just completely decimate us. Some of the dwarfs are out here training, it looks like. Ernest McNess is doing an individual combat drill. McFarland's, you're doing an individual combat drill. I don't have the dummies turned on for training. The training dummies. Primarily because as soon as I turn those on, every single dwarf in the fortress will prioritize those training dummies instead of all these other jobs that I want them to do. So here's the first floor. It's going to be all siltstone, because I have tons of that. Let's go ahead and reclaim all of that stockpile too, because most of that is siltstone as well, I believe. Actually, I may not stay on screen for all this, because I forgot how long it's going to take them to actually haul those rocks there. But, yeah, once this is actually all built, I'll channel out most of this here. I might leave a single stone piece walkway in the middle with a piece of wall maybe running a little bit down the center of the aqueduct here. That way the water gets split up and doesn't just run straight down the one tile wide walkway I plan on leaving and end up flooding the fortress. Is there anything else going on around the fortress? pretty sure that's all I had planned for now. The wells in the prison are done, and this entire level is smoothed down now. Not that I really plan to use it for anything. Just kind of wanted to waste some time in game. The little dive bar. It needs, actually, that place needs a theater. And also, how about while we're building that, I also build some of these other workshops that I haven't tested out yet. Okay, down here, the altar of nature can go right here on the green, on the blue tile. It'll be the altar of nature made of, I guess, worshipping the nature god of water. And the altar of war will be over here on the brown bloodstone. We'll make it at a microclimb just to mirror this one that's made out of siltstone. A bonfire, huh? Where do I want to build a bonfire? I could put bonfires in the prisons, in the jail cells. I'm not sure if they actually need it, though. Would be an interesting way to try and keep them warm. How about a bonfire? No, we don't need a bonfire near the alcohol stills either. In fact, no smoking in this dive bar because you'll blow the whole damn place up. That was a horrible idea, placing those two things so close together. A bar and the stills? I must want my dwarfs dead. Guess we'll place a bonfire outside. Right over here. By the pond. And make it out of filled maple logs. Apparently I could also make it out of wood. It's a bit weird. The alchemical workshop. Maybe these rooms will serve as the test bed for some of these workshops here. Okay. The alchemical workshop. Will it fit there? Place them in the corners like this. You'll be siltstone. The anatomical theater. That's for training doctors, I believe. I'm fairly certain that I've used one of those in my previous playlist. The screw press. Curious what this is for. Place that there. Chess table I can't do because I don't have a chessboard. Can't do a display case either. Furniture workshop. Didn't I already make a furniture workshop? Maybe not in this fortress. Gaming table, gate ball field. I'm not sure if this actually has a use yet. But let's place it. Can it go out here? No. I need a lot more space. I need someone to go out there and clear it, cut down the trees, it looks like. Okay. The gate ball field. We'll go there. And, actually, let's remove this stockpile. And we'll place the corpses back in the corner here. Far away from the other dwarves. And also, this refuse stockpile, I'm going to remove that. And just put it around the corner here. This can be kind of the garbage dump area, I guess. That does waste a lot of time with the dwarves because they each have to go grab a piece and move it and grab a piece and move it. But, oh well. They're not doing anything else.
You can't do that. I'm going to turn you into prostitutes.
Yes, throw your little tantrum. So yeah, we'll designate this place too. All siltstone. I'll probably run siltstone walls along the edge too. In fact, I know I will. And here we go. I'm going to do this a few more times, and I'll actually do that off camera. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this down to right about where the mist ends, and then I'm going to branch it off and hug the wall of the mountain. And I'll come back once I start designating the wall and getting everything else finished here. It is, oh yeah, what's the date? 7th Obsidian, 682, late winter. It might be a while before they get done with this. Maybe another year or so.